walk ahead, there's a ditch. But if you feel your luck is the better of your, conscience and judgment, I can't do much about it. There's nothing much that can be done.
Yeah.
But and coming to a smaller point of what Sir said in terms of regulation and this thing, I think beyond the regulator, this industry actually requires a policy. See, a regulator, and I've kind of on a lot of forums debated it. What we have in the present, the bill, is not a positive movement. It's more like giving a stick to a guy and saying every time you do this I'll beat you. That is not the way to run an industry. The best way to run the industry is to actually lead by example in terms of how the policies and what are the ways that you can actually instill the way to move in the right direction. And I think that the entire genesis of that lies again. It's just not the real estate. It lies in your urban planning. You go back 4,000 years, everything, you pick up Mahabharata or everything lied in the genesis of how cities have to be made. So there has to be, as I said, a larger plan, a social infrastructure, economic infrastructure, and real estate is just one part of it.
Okay. Mr. Sharma, I'm also trying to understand the role that consumers play or might have played in various cases. In your case, for example, specifically, you are the stand that you have taken. This very stand, it creates a question mark over the role that the consumers have played. Since you're saying that the case that the builder had all the approvals, all the necessary approvals required. So essentially, it seems that the RWAs are probably on the wrong side in this case at this point of time. So what do you believe in these cases? What is the role that consumers have played?
You see, consumers, I tell you, when a buyer goes to buy a flat or anything, he has to see some 6 things to keep in mind. The land records. Okay, this is a government land. It was a government land, Noida 30 land. We had no problem. Then the plan, approved plan is there. The certificate for construction is there. Everything is there. There's an NOC from the fire is there, from every department is there. So we had no problem. A prudent buyer has to see whether this is a approved flats or not. Everything sanction is there, on record is there. What a prudent buyer will have to say more. Everything is on record. So that is what a buyer should see. After that, certainly if it is dodged, buyer is dodged because of the collusion or nexus or anything, buyer should not suffer.
So what happened suddenly in this case? If all the approvals were there, why did the buyer feel the need of crying foul?
No. See, I have already told. This is there is a flaw in the Honorable High Court order that it has gone by the regulation of 2010. That is the UP Apartments Act. 2010.
No, I'm going in the initial process. Why did the very need for a petition? Why did the need arise? Why did the need arise? Why did the IWAs need to cry foul?
No, they have also filed that they have taken the pleas under the section under the Act of 2010, the Resident Welfare Association. They have filed the petition under 2010, that Apartment Act, whereas the approval was taken under 2006. That is the problem.
And all of this was effectively and transparently conveyed to all the buyers. The approval sought.
Buyer have no objection.
Buyer knows everything.
Buyers have no objection with the super tax. Buyers have no objection with the super tax. Mostly, hardly a few people had applied initially. They were misguided.
Okay, let me take that point forward. Satya Prakash is saying that lack of prudence of buyers also leads to a problem in most of the cases, in a lot of cases. What do you believe about this?
No, it's very difficult for a buyer to know all these things. And that is where the role of regulatory authorities, authority I'm talking about, that comes. It should be clearly specifically said that these are the things a buyer has to see. Buyer doesn't know anything. These are the things, suppose a particular kind of flat you are buying. You don't know what is super area, what is carpet area, what you are paying for. You don't know what is luxury flat, semi-luxury or a normal flat. You will be charged for one, you will be getting a different kind of flat. You have nowhere to go and complain except consumer courts. why can't you create a proper regulatory mechanism apart from what Mr. Chawla talked about policy? I don't think policies would matter in this kind of environment where everybody is out there to make money and nothing else. Nobody is caring about any laws, bylaws, nothing. And that is why you need a strict enforcement. If something illegal has been constructed, completely raise it.
Okay.
There is no other way out. Otherwise, these kind of violations will go on and innocent buyers will suffer.
All right.
He's buyer. He is one of the. I suspect he's one of the buyers in the Twin Towers. But the original buyers, to whom the flats were sold, this particular piece of land was told that this will be a green area, and that is why they are aggrieved.
Okay.
For him, it was under the 2010 Act or 2010 Act.
2010.
So he thinks it is his right, but in the process, a group of people are suffering, and all these bylaws go for a toss.
Yeah, that's true. So, well, it's time for us to slip into yet another break. At this point of time, the discussion will continue on the other side. Stay tuned to Insight. Welcome back. You're watching Insight, and today we're talking about the problem of illegal constructions in the country. Harmit, what is your understanding about the role that buyers play in all these cases that are so much in the headlines, that have led to so much mess?